Hey everyone, welcome back to Postscript, Marie Antoinette. The stage has been set and we're eager to find out what life at Versailles has in store for Marie.
That's right. At the beginning of this episode, we find out that it's been 4 months since the wedding. Mm-hmm. They have not had sex yet. Mm-hmm. And the political implications of that are starting to show.
That is really true. I like that overview.
Yeah.
Okay, we're done. We got an introduction to the whispering walls in the first episode, but now we're really getting into the power dynamics at Versailles.
Before we dive deeper, we'd love to hear what areas of the series that you'd like to learn more about. So send us your question or topic at ps@witf.org.
Or engage with us on social media by sliding into our DMs. You can either post a comment or send a direct message to Instagram at WITFORG or Facebook at WITF.org.
Yes, you looked at me and I was listening. Those are correct.
I did. I had to make sure. It's written down so I remember.
So, okay, Beth, do you want to take us into part 2? The rival queens?
I think that's what it's called.
Okay.
Which is good. It kind of gives a good overview of rival queens.
Yeah.
So we left off. We have Marie. She's married off to Louis the 16th. To forge the alliance between Austria and France.
Yes.
And it's her duty, as everybody says.
It's her duty.
It's her duty, to produce an heir to France.
Yes.
And make sense on paper.
Right.
However, these are people we're talking about and children. So
exactly. And nobody knows what they're doing.
No, but in reality, like no one is helping her to understand how to physically accomplish this. No one seems to care about whether or not the royals like actually want to be together or lead a country.
And everyone assumes that Louis knows what he's doing as well, which is kind of, I mean, he's 15. He doesn't know.
He's 15.
But he's like also very much in his head, like in his own world. So, yeah.
To the point where he doesn't talk to her like the entire episode.
Like, has he had a spoken line to her yet?
I think he says like one or two things.
Say a few words, yeah.
Yeah, he is a man of a few words.
Few words, yes. So
great acting though, because you can like really know what he's thinking in his brain throughout this whole episode, just based on his facial expressions.
Yeah.
Like once again, these TV shows are so like they find the best actors and actresses to really get these facial expressions down.
I mean, they're awkward teenagers, and they feel very much like awkward teenagers.
They do, yeah. That's
and they're
very
not
true.
They're not real life teenagers.
No, they're not. She's what, 30? She's 31.
She's 30,
right?
and I think he's in his 20s.
Okay,
so both of them are through their like gawky awkward stage in real life.
In real life.
Yeah.
But they do a great job making it
pretending
like, awkward.
They must still remember.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Tears for Fears kind of stuff. Okay. So like everybody wants to rule the world here.
Yes, everybody's vying for position.
Exactly. So like Austria is like a huge weight on Marie's shoulders.
Yep, she's bearing all that.
Yeah, her mom is telling her about it. Merci is telling her about it, and her about it. And Choiseul? Her or me? You got it.
Choiseul.
I should have wrote that down. So Choiseul as well is also telling her. The weight of France is on Louis' shoulders. And
this poor kid. Wait, you mean Louis the Dauphin? Dauphin? Yes.
Yeah.
Not Louis the 15th. He's doing
Not
just
that one.
fine.
No, he's doing fine. At least he thinks he is. Provence is jealous that Louis will become king.
Yes.
He's got that Loki vibe. And did you notice he wears green in the episode?
I did not
Oh my
notice.
gosh, he wears Loki colored green.
Do you think they've been inspired?
I think so. Because he's wearing Loki green.
You're right, though. He
So
does
it
have a
must
lot
be.
of
Yeah.
Loki
And green
vibes.
is jealousy and envy and all of that color.
Okay,
So
I'm wearing green today.
yeah. Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But
not
you're not
Loki
envious
green.
at all. It's not Loki green. So you're good. The sisters hate that Papawa is with Madame du Barry.
Yeah, they hate
Madame du
du Barry.
Barry. Du Barry is not from high places and therefore like wants to keep where her standing is. She cannot
acts very
go back.
confident.
She does,
But we find out she's not very confident.
no, deep down inside, like
Yeah.
she's like, I can't go back. Like Provence puts her in her place a lot.
Yeah. There's
So-
people constantly reminding her.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is so rude, but like
we'll
I don't
probably
know.
get into that later.
There was so much drama throughout this whole episode.
There was so
It was
much
insane.
happening.
I know. Choiseul, dang it. Choiseul, thank you. Orchestrated this marriage in hopes of a successful alliance, political gains, or at least like some kind of political peace in some way.
Joining the family lines.
Yes. Mercy is there on behalf of Austria to make sure this all goes well for Austria and the Empress.
Everyone's kind of not doing their job well for Marie and Louis.
No, they're all in it for
point.
themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to have to help me with this name. Mistress Noailles?
Noai.
Jeez.
That's
It's
one
the
of the
L's.
few I actually know.
Noai wants Marie to be more French, will probably never like her because she loved like Louis's mom.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like she's more a strict headmistress than anything else at this point. Like personally, I think she might care for Marie the most out of everybody, like actually have her best interests at heart, but she's stern and strict. And so I'm
like
interested to
super
see
stern.
how that develops because I have a feeling she's not a bad person. She just feels like one right now.
Okay. Well, we'll have to see because she seems really like trunchable to me.
Oh, well, that's also fair. Yeah.
And then we also we pick up with Marie 4 months later, feeling like she's not enough. No one's showing her what to do to accomplish her duty.
Yeah.
So this piece of hair is really annoying. So I'm going to take a second and
Just fix that up a little
Yeah.
bit. I told you got to go for utility, not
I should.
looks.
Yeah, I know you did. I was like, this should look good with one piece of hair out front, and maybe I should just eat it throughout the whole episode. Whatever works. So, all right. So we open up the episode and we have like these seduction lessons.
Yes.
All right.
It's, it seems like Marie and Du Barry are getting along very well.
Yes.
And Du Barry seems to be doing her a solid, like teaching her how, sex works.
Yes.
She actually knows that you need to have sex to get pregnant, which I feel like she might not have known at the beginning of this. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Marie definitely didn't know. She's like, what am I supposed to do? Just lay in here with him? Are we supposed to kiss?
What
I'm so
happens? Am I supposed
confused.
to
What
kiss
goes
him?
on?
Yeah.
But so Marie shows up in the carriage and then she runs up to the room at where Madame du Barry is.
Right. So producer Allie did a closer look on this, so I'm going to share that with you. She couldn't find the exact location where they filmed, but according to the Palace of Versailles website, royal mistresses like Madame du Barry lived comfortably, and she lived on the second floor of the king's chambers when she began to enjoy the perks of her position. And she received jewelry from the estates, which we see in this episode, including the, Louveciennes. Is that how you say it? Sienne. Louveciennes estate, where she stayed regularly.
Yeah. So I'm guessing Louveciennes is where she is
That might
in
be
this
where
scene.
she is.
Okay.
Or she might be in the palace in the king's chamber. It's one or the other.
I don't think
We're
so
not sure.
because Marie is coming in a carriage.
She's in a carriage.
Right?
Yeah,
So-
no, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Okay. So she runs up. First of all, that dress is gorgeous on
Right.
her.
All of her
She looks
dresses.
amazing in pink.
I love them.
Yeah, and she's in pink throughout this whole episode, and I wonder if it's because when she gets to the top of the steps, we find out that she has her.
She gets her period.
She gets her period.
Yeah.
She is now a woman, and she can have children,
Right.
which is great.
We see a very intimate in a not sexy way, a very intimate scene between her and Du Barry, because Du Barry puts on one of the menstrual pads.
Yes.
So in that time, it sounded like, from the research I was able to do, Marie Antoinette would have had linen pads that were worn under her dresses. So
Okay.
we see her pinning something in there. So I assume it's those linen pads to keep her from bleeding all over the place.
Yeah.
But some women just free bled.
And just let it all come
Yeah.
out.
Or they wore special underoos that didn't really do much, but I guess prevented some of the splattering. I don't know. But she had menstrual pads.
Yeah.
And yeah, Du Barry's pinning them on. I mean, that's a solid friend, if you ask me.
I agree.
It's I felt good about their relationship there.
I did too. I was like, wow, Madame du Barry is
She's
doing
taking
her
care
solid.
of-
She's taking
yeah.
care of Marie and doing all this other stuff. Now, later on in the episode, we find out that's really just in for her own
It's
interest.
Very tenuous. Yeah.
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 There are strings attached and all that other stuff. But
Yeah.
at least she was teaching her those things and acting like her mother, by
Well,
taking
what
care
her
of
mother
her.
should have
So
been
her
doing.
mother should have done all
Yeah.
this.
Because her mother kind of failed her.
Just a little
Just a
bit.
little bit.
So, so Dubarry was teaching Marie seduction begins with a kiss begins with the eyes.
Yeah, and she's very sultry.
Like, I know.
And I'm like, I want to kiss Dubarry.
I'm like, how you do that? And then the lips thing, like, I feel like we should both look to camera right now and try to do the lips. Okay,
wait,
ready?
I'll do, okay.
Okay, so. You did it a lot better. I was like laughing at myself
how
doing
this
this.
actually worked on camera. I feel like I probably looked like Marie.
I'm gonna do it like Marie. That was like Marie. I love it. Anyway,
she tried.
She did, but that's like the acting behind it. It's amazing. She's like a 30-year-old who probably knows what she's doing, and then
I don't know.
I'm
like in my 30s, and I'm not good at the art.
Well, I mean, I just pretended, and I have no idea. So there's definitely no way I'm going biting my lip. It doesn't work.
Yeah,
but and then they actually like kiss,
right?
And I was like, okay, so this
is her. I'm like, oh, she's teaching her how to kiss, but no,
that's what I thought. I thought, wow, she's teaching her to kiss. This is Marie's like first kiss,
right?
Like ever,
probably,
for sure. Right? I mean, unless she's kissing Mups, which is adorable because clearly
that counts
you can
too.
kiss your dog, but then you see,
creepy. So Louis the 15th is looking through the keyhole, and by the way, we're calling him Zaddy King now.
Zaddy King.
But he is smiling. He's a freaking creep, and I don't like it. I just like cringed. I was just like, oh.
I know, because she's 14.
Yeah,
like this is his
mistress
daughter-in-law
and his granddaughter-in-law kissing, and he's just like, yeah.
He's like, I like that. Thanks for sharing. And we're like, stop it. It's not okay.
Get out.
So then we have like Marie trying to put her seduction lessons into practice.
She has her lips all done up, all spottily. But
spotty.
That might have been the makeup of the time and not so much her application, because she probably had to do it herself rather than having a professional person painting on for her. But yeah, they're very spotty. Her makeup looks a little awkward.
It made it look like she had like some sores on her mouth from biting it the wrong way.
Maybe that happened too. Maybe that's why it was darker in some places. They were open.
But maybe you're right. Like she had to do it herself. And they don't have mirrors because she's not allowed to be vain. Remember, they did tell her that she's not allowed to have any vanity.
I don't remember that, but okay.
Oh yeah, in the first episode.
That would explain the spotty lips then
so
too.
She can't see anything, and I can't even put on lipstick correctly with a mirror, let alone without a mirror.
No wonder she looks a little weird.
Yeah. So but she goes and she has candlelight. She goes and knocks on Louis' room door.
She's so hopeful.
She's so hopeful, and she just looks at him, gives a little awkward bite of the lip, and he's goofing off with his helper guy, and then looks at the helper guy, and the helper guy slams the door in her face,
extinguishes her candle. So now she's in the dark hallway, and we revisit that theme of being trapped in a labyrinth.
Yep.
As she's running through the halls trying to get back to
her.
In the dark.
By herself.
Like a nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, there's that nightmarish theme again.
It was, yeah. Going there, I thought she was in a nightmare because she's like, like the breathing was, a little heavier too. So I felt for her.
I felt for her a lot.
I felt like my teenage self being like denied something.
There was some like secondhand embarrassment on
her
behalf, because putting yourself out there is hard, and she's been doing it constantly and constantly being shut down. So
especially
and
with
this
her
time
husband.
there was a witness too.
The helper guy. Yeah. Ugh, poor kid.
Yeah.
So then we go into the next scene where it sets up like the main conflicts of the episode.
Yeah.
So you have Madame Dubarry, and that king is wrapped around her finger.
He is willing to do anything she says.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he walks in. She's sitting there. What rings do you think? And
the rings or the bracelets?
This? Yeah. What do you think? And then was it? What's his name? Say it again.
Was Schwazul in this?
Schwazul? Yeah, he's the one that walks in.
Okay.
Right?
I don't remember.
With the new people behind him. I know they all look the same. Well, this one was older. But Schwazul walks in and pretty much says, like, she's spending too much. She doesn't get any. And then she looks at the person and goes, I'm going to take 2.
I'll take them both. Thank you.
Thank you. And then the king's just like, she can get whatever she wants, essentially. And he's just like,
just
okay.
Lets her do it.
And then brings the other guy in. And this was so weird. This new guy comes in and sprays perfume. And like the king asks her, like, who do you want?
Perfume.
Yeah. It was like dripping down her neck into her bosom.
It was very wet.
Yeah. Probably like, and the king's just like looking at her like, and I'm like, what's going on here?
We have established he likes to watch.
He does like to watch. So we also see like the sisters, they want Madame du Barry like out, and they can like
they're conspiring to get Princess de Lamballe to marry him.
Yep. So that they can get rid of the strumpet.
Opposite match that you could ever imagine.
I know, this poor girl. Poor girl. But like that's when like it means war, you know. Not only are like the sisters versus like Madame du Barry, but then there's a big power struggle of like, you know, Louis and Marie haven't done the deed.
Right. And I apologize because now I'm remembering that I wanted to look into the Poland thing. So I'll try and remember that for next time. But there's something happening with Poland.
Yeah.
And the Austrian-France alliance is basically in question.
Well, here we go, because producer Allie wrote this down for us. So thank you.
Okay.
So they were talking about war and said France would be obliged to take a stand against Austria if she joins in the covert with Poland.
Okay.
And then how can we go to war with our ally? The treaty has not been gratified.
Right.
So like Austria has not yet performed her duty to France.
Which is to produce the heir.
Yep. And then he's perplexed because Austria seems to be willing.
The country seems to be
willing.
willing.
Maybe France is not. Yeah. And then he's like, there's nothing wrong with my grandson. Mm-hmm. So, and then says, like, she's unprepared. She didn't have her menses. Like, she doesn't even know what she's supposed to be doing.
Understand how sex works.
Exactly. So maybe, you know, we should have done this, and then
maybe you should have had some background on this girl.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that was an interesting scene. But at least we have some background,
detail there,
detail on the politics that are going around the incredibly dramatic episode we just had.
Yes.
So we check on Madame du Barry and the sisters at the day of the hunt.
Right.
Lamballe is like late and she's shy and awkward.
Marie's waiting for her to get dressed because Marie cannot reach for her own clothing. It has to be handed to her by a certain person in a certain rank, and it depends on who's available, who can hand it off. If someone of a higher rank walks in, they have to hand off the clothing to them so that they can hand it to Marie. It's like, it's real complicated. So Marie's just standing there like half dressed, and she's just like, oh my gosh, just give me it. And she gets her hand slapped.
Yeah. I don't get why why she can't hand it to Marie.
Because it was the wrong rank and the princess was supposed to hand it off.
It just makes no sense.
So it doesn't make any sense. Marie doesn't think it makes sense.
No, it doesn't. So then we go outside and we're going to the hunt.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
So Lamballe is late again. And then the sisters are talking about how she'll never agree. She's a shrinking violet. But then says the ostrich bitch will do our work for us.
Mm-hmm. This is at the hunt, yes.
Yes, which is referring to Marie.
Right, because Austria in French sounds like ostrich.
Yeah.
Ostrich.
Yeah.
It does. So it's a play on words. They're actually a little bit clever here, but mean.
Yeah. So they're hunting. You have the dogs running after this stag, and it's like very odd scene to me because I don't see a stag standing there waiting for somebody to stab it between its eyes.
I would think that it would run away, but
like continuously run away from 12 dogs.
It just exposed its throat at the end.
Yeah. It's like, oh, do you want to cut?
Would you like to murder me?
Kill me? Like, I'm here for you. But he stabs the stag. Lamballe is like, oh my God, horrified. But Marie is like, oh, bravo.
Yeah.
And he looks up at her.
I'm wondering if she like experienced hunting in Austria because, you know, the Germans are a little more like no nonsense and they probably hunted on the regular. So she's probably not as horrified by it as like most people would be.
Yeah.
But this is her window. This is what she can use to like weasel her way into Louis's heart.
Yeah. Because he hunts every morning.
Right.
And that will never end.
Biggest interest.
So she needs to be interested in what he's interested in. Yep. That makes sense. But then like they go and they're like walking through by a pond, right? And then she goofs off with one of the cousins, and like Louis's looking at her from
Louis
afar.
watching from a distance because he is interested in her.
He is interested. And so there are a couple scenes in this episode where like he's interested.
But he's watching from afar, and he doesn't know how to interact. He doesn't know how to say what he wants to say.
It's very, very awkward.
And
like,
the cousin takes her arm, and he's
he's flirting
upset.
with her.
Yeah, he is.
That cousin's flirting with Marie and playful. Yeah. So then we go into sex ed with Papa Wah.
There's an awkward sex ed
sequence
awkward. With Papa Wah.
Yeah, there was like no introduction to it. Zaddy King. There was no introduction to like what was going to happen. They're just sitting awkwardly at the table. There's a love apple.
Louis is there to find out how this all works. What is his duty?
But was he supposed to? Because like
I think he's trying to figure out how he's supposed to make a move, but he doesn't have the slightest clue. And so he thought, I'll go to Zaddy King. He seems to know what he's doing with women.
But I don't think Louis sought him out. I think the king called him in.
That's possible too.
I need to talk to him. Go get him.
True.
That's what I think happened.
But he's sitting there, and he seems interested. He's paying attention. There's a love apple.
There's a love apple, which is an aphrodisiac.
Right.
Right? He says it's an aphrodisiac. And then he goes and takes a knife and goes,
well, first,
he literally just teaches.
He like caresses it. Like,
a little.
With a little bit of like, I know. In it, which made me very uncomfortable.
That whole scene was
and I think Louis was uncomfortable too.
Very
He's
uncomfortable.
He's like, I'm meeting a little resistance.
Yep.
I find it best to just plunge in. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, a little resistance. And then you have to just force a little bit and then be gentle, gently push. And then eventually you get in
resistant. There's a little,
it
gives.
And then he like goes in with the knife and then he twirls it around and moves it around. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then he pulls the knife out. Or no, the knife is still in there. And Louis just goes, can I eat it?
Am I supposed to eat it? He says. And I'm like, oh, Louis, you are, but not in the context that you're thinking.
That's where I was like, does Louis even understand what he's being asked here?
No, he has no idea.
I don't think he has any idea of what's going on.
Interested in sex. I don't think he's ever really thought about it.
No.
And so he's just completely lost. This was too many metaphors in this sex ed.
Yeah.
This was not straightforward enough for him to understand what was happening.
Yep. So then we get another sex ed lesson for Marie.
Right.
Because she questions why Papa Wah doesn't just marry Madame du Barry.
Right. They seem to like each other.
Yeah. She's humiliated because she doesn't know what the term whore is.
Right. Because she's an Archduchess of Austria.
Yeah.
She has not been taught what a whore is.
No,
wasn't
exactly.
Part of her lessons.
She wasn't even taught what she's supposed to do when she's married.
Louis will guide you.
Yeah, exactly. A 15-year-old will guide you. And he's learning from a tomato. So we're there.
Yep.
But like I felt so bad for her in this scene because she's just another embarrassment in front of Louis. She has no idea. And Louis like looking at her.
He looks at her very concerned. Yeah. Like he's worried about her.
Exactly. Provence goes
I think
up
he
in
understands
because
I think he's been like real embarrassed by his sisters, his aunts and his brother as well.
Yeah.
So.
But like, and then Provence is like up in her face. And I'm like, back up.
Up in her face. And
your breath is smelly.
Yes.
You're rude. Back up and leave her alone, this poor child. And then, he goes and jumps on Louis and starts humping him.
He gives him a lap dance. Yeah, and Louis just very gently shoves him off and he falls to the ground.
I know.
So he's not very strong. That's fine.
Yes. And then he goes and says, sorry, I was just trying to help. What, are you not into it? And then
not in the mood.
Yeah, not in the mood.
Oh, what else is new?
Exactly.
Rude.
And
Provence
then Marie
is so rude.
I know. He's such a jerk. But then Marie turns away, trips on her way out, but Louis goes to follow her.
He follows her.
I liked that.
Yeah.
I was very happy about Louis following her.
So one of the things that I'm picking up from the book that I'm listening to is that there's a very big difference between Austrian sexuality and French sexuality.
Okay.
French sexuality, especially in the court, is obviously very loosey-goosey.
Yeah.
Lots of mistresses. Like, it was common for everybody, even the women, to have, like, extracurricular people on the side. It was just, you don't do it in front of your husband and it's fine. Everyone just doesn't talk about it. But Austrians, they were much more rigid and, like...
Are they like penguins?
I want to say prudish, but that's not the way to put it. Like they were like monogamous. They felt that marriage was very important and it should be one and only one sort of deal. So there's a lot of culture clash happening here.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're listening and you can give us some of that information, help us out. Oh, my goodness. But then Marie in the hall asked Louis if he knew about Madame du Barry. And she's mad.
She's mad that nobody told her. Everybody in her life, even her husband, has not told her.
Yeah. And she's just like walking around like an idiot. And
being
that's
friends
not fair.
with a whore.
Well, because she looks up to Madame du Barry.
Yeah.
She
and
like
now she's just,
idolizes her and she loves her. And it's the one person who's been super
horribly
nice.
Embarrassing.
That she's been befriending a whore this whole time.
Right. And I'm sure she was at least taught that that was not an appropriate thing to be.
Oh, yeah.
But
exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, she keeps saying, like, get in front of me, like, look at me. She walks in front of him and then asks, like, is this my life? I feel trapped. I can't trust anyone, not even you. Mm-hmm. Like, look at me. She keeps chasing him. And, yeah, I just...
Yeah, he writes in his journal something like, Marie got angry at me today.
Yes.
I don't think she's suited for life at Versailles, but like, same to you, honey. Like, neither one of you are suited for this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we're going to take, I guess, a quick break.
Well, before we do that.
Oh, okay.
So hold on
something else?
Yeah. Just before, like after their fight, before he even journals, just both of them on either side of the door.
Oh, right. They're just kind of like their heads are on the door.
Yeah, they both just like care.
There's literally a wall between them.
Oh my God. I love it. Now we'll take a quick break.
Okay. Welcome back, and we are talking about the changing loyalties in Marie Antoinette's bedchambers.
Yeah. So
it's happening in a lot of bedchambers.
You know what? There's a lot going on in bedchambers.
Yeah.
They must have a lot of bedrooms. But
I
mean, it is a very large place.
It is. It's a palace.
It's a palace after all.
With apartments inside it.
I know, that sounds like apartments. What? Okay. So anyway, Madame du Barry comes into Marie's room and says, like, have they been filling your head with nonsense about me? Because Marie says, I'm busy.
Yeah.
I'm going to be busy then too.
Lessons, and she's busy. She's busy. She's always busy, forever busy.
Yep. And then Marie's like, you should have told me. And then, you know, Madame du Barry is like, it's my past. My past is my past. You don't have to know about it. I don't associate with it. This is where I'm at. So that's where we are. And then Marie's like, you were making me a fool.
Yeah,
and
she's embarrassed. I mean,
oh, yeah, because she didn't know what a whore was and didn't know that she was idolizing one.
Right. She didn't know she was idolizing a prostitute, a former prostitute. Because I'm sure she does not take money anymore. She gets paid in jewels.
Exactly.
So
and apartments. And palaces.
And food.
And stuff like that. So, Marie is just like, she's like so hurt by it, and then is just really ticked off and just says, no, I'm done. But while she's talking to her, you know, right before that, somebody comes in and one of her staff comes in and gives her a letter for her mother and puts it in
the drawer. Yes.
Which Madame du Barry sees. Okay.
She witnesses that, yes.
She does.
She makes a note.
Yep. And so then it kind of, like Madame du Barry wanting to work with Marie and give her these seduction lessons and stuff like that. Now it makes you think, like, there's another ulterior motive here.
Yeah.
To try and get Marie on her side, because she's going to be the queen and she needs the queen's favor.
Right. To maintain
stay around.
Her lifestyle.
Exactly.
That she's grown accustomed to. I think that's fair. I think she may have wanted to help Marie, but maybe not for completely selfless reasons. But I don't know that it was all nefarious. I think Marie turning against her and making her feel bad about her past probably triggered something in her that she was just like, nope, we're not friends anymore.
Yep.
So,
it was all kind of stinky.
I felt sad for everybody involved. There were a lot of hurt feelings here.
Yep, I did too. But then we see, like, at night, Maria's sleeping, and this is the second time it happens, where somebody, a hooded figure, comes into her room and leaves.
Creepy, like, death figure. He's just not carrying a scythe. Yeah.
No, it's very creepy. And Marie goes and checks, and they took her mother's letter.
Yeah, her letter is gone.
Yep. So somebody's coming into her room while she's sleeping, snooping through her things and taking things. So she's like, I wonder who took that. Right?
She might have suspicions, but
she has some suspicions. So then Mercy comes in and talks to Marie. Marie says, like, my mother's letter was right here and now it's gone. He says, like, keep out of trouble. He knew about Madame du Barry.
Right. And she's mad that he didn't tell her either. Nobody told her.
Yep. So everybody knows except Marie, who is idolizing this woman.
Right.
So, of course, she's going to feel very embarrassed.
But also not a completely bad idea because it is the king's favorite. So, I mean,
it's
not a bad person to actually be friendly with.
Exactly. He says, stay in good talk, like good favor with her, don't pick a side, and then she says she can't win. This is the second time, like she's trapped.
And he says, welcome to Versailles.
Yeah, that doesn't really help.
No.
She's 14 and you put her here.
Yeah.
So it's not welcome to Versailles. It's why did you do this to me?
Yes, exactly.
So anyway.
You did not win the lottery, kid.
Yep. And then Madame du Barry is with Provence. They're reading this letter that they stole from Marie. So we find out that, they're laughing about the mother, talking to her. And then the new guy comes in from...
The new guy. Oh, yeah.
The new guy.
The new guy, accountant guy, I believe.
Yeah, that's how we described him, was the new accountant guy.
Right, who looks a lot like Provence, and I could not tell the two apart. So.
Yeah.
There we go.
I think he's cuter than Provence. He has that Orlando Bloom feel from Pirates of the Caribbean.
I have to pay closer attention next time I watch it because I still have to watch it again with Matt. So
well, there you go.
So I'm going to pay real
close attention to the difference between the two.
Okay.
Yeah. He reminds me of like Orlando Bloom, but she also like Madame du Barry reminds me of what's her name? Sorry, I keep tapping things, but from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh,
what's her name?
Keira Knightley?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
She kind of gives me that vibe.
Okay.
So does all the dresses.
Was it the bosom?
Like
it's the bosom thing?
Maybe it's the bosom. But she doesn't have a big bosom. Madame du Barry does.
It's the corset. It makes everything look bigger.
That's true. So anyway, sidebar. The new guy clearly is getting along with Madame du Barry
Getting
very
along.
well.
That's a nice way to put it.
Yep. And then we see like Marie talking to Lamballe about how the diplomat like wants Marie to be friends, like Mercy wants Marie to be friends with Madame du Barry in the sense of like, not like besties.
Right, but friendly.
She should be friends with everyone.
Yeah,
cordial with everyone.
Kind, courteous, respectful.
Yep, exactly. But then Marie goes and says, Lamballe, you should marry the king. So now we go to the king, Marie, and Lamballe.
I actually loved this scene.
Did you? Oh my gosh. Where like Lamballe is holding her hand out and the king's pouring the coffee beans in her hand.
Sensual like, but I don't know if he's trying to be sensual.
I think he is.
Well, but he talks to her like she's kind of his child in most cases. Like
he likes younger.
He does like younger girls. This is true.
It's probably how he plays it.
It's probably a little bit of both. Anyway, he's pouring these coffee beans into her hands.
And she's just like, her facial expressions are great too.
Oh my
she's
gosh.
like, she seems
she's
like
so
terrified.
Nervous.
Like she's going to like, I don't know, be, guillotined or something. You know what I mean? Like that's what she looks like. She looks like complete. We'll have to look it up. But there is sheer terror on this child's face.
Right. And he like leans in. I forget what he even says, but he like leans in and says something, and she just like jumps and spills the coffee beans all over the floor.
Everywhere. And I was like, oh
and
my gosh.
So embarrassed. And she immediately like drops to the floor. I think I like this scene so much because it felt very relatable to me.
Is that what you would do?
I would have jumped up and been like, oh my gosh, and on my hands and knees, like picking up the beans. And Marie like made a joke of it too. So I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I would do.
I love it. But then Marie goes around, gives her a little kiss to stop her from crying.
Right. She like brings her out of her like panic attack.
What?
Okay.
Yep. And then everyone's on the ground picking them up. But then Lamballe freaks out, cries, and runs away.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm done running away.
I mean, So the king looks very amused by it.
I think he was.
I think he was having a lot of fun. I don't know if it might have been in a creepy sexual way. I'm not sure. But he seemed to be having a good time with this, crawling around on the floor, picking up his coffee beans.
Yeah, he's like, hey, guys, what you doing? I'll pick them up with you.
Oh, my God.
Yep. They're more expensive than the diamonds downstairs, but let's pick them up off the ground.
Oh, that poor girl. I felt so bad for her.
I know. But, and then she gets yelled at by the sisters.
Right.
In the hallway, like, how dare you? And then goes and then they're rude to Marie. And she's like, I just tried. This is your idea. You're putting kids up to this. Like,
right.
How old are you?
Teenagers.
We're children.
We don't know what we're doing.
Exactly. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, no.
So then we have Madame du Barry confronting Marie again about this encounter with Lamballe.
And the coffee, yes.
Yep.
She's jealous.
Oh, yeah. She doesn't want anything to get in the way of her lavish lifestyle now. She can't go back. She can't go back at all.
Right. I have a hard time believing that du Barry believes that Lamballe will make a good wife for the king, but
it could be something that happens because she is a royal, not where she came from. You know,
the sisters want it. Yeah,
and the sisters are going to push for it. So then Madame du Barry says, like, it's not too late to change your mind.
Yeah, she gives her an out. She gives her an opportunity.
Marie
to be like,
doesn't
no,
say
I think,
anything.
I think we can be friends. No,
yep. She doesn't say anything, so it's just like, okay. Whatever. Done.
Enemy now.
Yep.
You are my enemy.
Yeah. And then the king is talking to, you're going to have to do this again. This is the third time.
Oh, which one?
Choiseul. I say it wrong every time. He's talking to him about Austria and Poland. The spy is there. Did you notice that?
Oh, the spy that is pretending to be a girl.
Yeah. So it's a guy pretending to be a girl that's the helper of Marie.
For Austria.
Yep. So he's in that room.
It's a whole web.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
I love it because I didn't even realize it.
I have a hard time keeping track of this stuff, so it's interesting for me.
Well, that's why we're both here. So Madame du Barry comes in and is like, Louis is not, they're not getting down to business. They're not shagging his wife, and it's all Marie's fault. And start saying it's Marie's fault. It's Marie's fault because it can't be Louis' fault.
No, it can't be Louis'
because
fault.
His grandson there's nothing wrong with his grandson.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with his grandson.
Yep. So he complains about Marie, and then
side note, there is nothing wrong with him.
With Louis?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with him.
He's so cute. He's just a teenager. Yeah. So she's complaining about Marie, and then Choiseul. Thank you. Jeez. Fourth time. Let me tally that. Complains about Louis, and then the king says, like, it's all up to Louis if we're going to get rid of Marie or not, because Madame du Barry is like, get rid of her, get rid of her, get rid of her.
Right. But it's Louis' wife.
It is. So it's up to him.
And yeah, he's the future king.
Yep. She kind of walks out like, oh.
She didn't get her way.
No, of course. Nice try.
Nobody got their way.
You get your you get your rings, you get your bracelets. You're not really going to dictate who Louis marries.
Right.
That's not your place.
That's fair. That's good.
Yep. So then the spy goes to Mercy and tells him what's going on, and then he actually uses lemon. So he takes a lemon juice, and squeezes it into the little cup, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like an inkwell.
Yeah, an inkwell. Mm-hmm. Oh, dang, good. Yeah. Thank you.
I don't know how I thought of that word on the fly, but it was an inkwell.
And then dips his pen in and starts writing, and then we have...
And it's invisible. It's invisible ink.
I love it.
And I'm interested. I don't want to try it because, as you know, I have a tendency of setting things on fire, but I'm like, this is really interesting, and I'm sure it actually works.
Yeah.
So maybe one day when it's warmer outside, I'll test it outside.
Well,
and I'll report back.
It works in National Treasure, so it's gotta work.
It's a known thing, and I'm just learning it now from Marie Antoinette.
So we'll do it. And I'll be there to hold your hand so that you don't light the place on fire.
Okay. We'll do it here.
We'll do it here so that we light the place on fire here. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, so we find out that, like, the Empress gets the message, and that Madame du Barry is planning to remove Marie from France, and France is actually gathering his troops. Yeah, she wants to, and France is gathering troops.
Okay.
So that's where we're at. And then the Empress starts to write a letter again.
Right.
And then Mercy shows up, and Marie's
delivers the letter.
Which he's already read, clearly, because he says, just read what your mother says. And then Marie is like this defeated child laying on the bed,
because her
giving
mother's
up.
just saying the same thing.
Yep. Her mother says,
again.
get up, don't give up, and you have to go and seduce your husband
Louis.
and get him to sleep with you. Like,
Yeah.
you just have to do it. Sorry. Good luck.
Yeah.
I'm not going to teach
like,
you
she
how.
doesn't say anything about how she, and like these caresses and like the usual seduction does not work on Louis.
Clearly.
Louis is just very uncomfortable with the whole situation.
Yeah.
He needs a little more finessing. I think maybe he wants an emotional relationship with the person that he's going to get naked in front of.
I think
make
so,
children
too.
with. I mean, this is all very logical things.
Yeah. So Marie goes to find him.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, first she throws the letter in the fire.
That's true.
And I'm
she
like,
does.
legit.
Well, because he says burn it after you
fair.
read it.
Oh, he does say burn it? I missed
Oh, yeah.
that.
He says
Okay.
read this and burn it when
it.
you're done.
Well, I feel like she did it out of frustration as well.
Well, I think so, too. Yeah, definitely.
So useless.
I'd be like, ugh.
Yeah, I know. Tell
Even
me
from
something
afar,
new.
you're telling me I have to not give up. How do you know where I'm at, mother? Because clearly
Why
all
do
these
you
people
know
are talking
everything
about her.
my personal life?
Exactly.
I hate this.
So Marie goes to Louis and he runs away. I'm like, come on, man, you're so silly. Like,
And she chases him.
but she chases him, and I love it. They go all the way up to the tower near the balcony where his birds are. And
It's like a little cat and mouse
it's
game.
a
It was
little
actually
game now.
she turned it into something that was very playful rather than
Yes.
aggressive.
Yeah.
I mean, smart move, Marie.
I know. She's just like,
she's
hello.
actually really good at reading people, but nobody will let her do that.
Yeah.
Like
that's
she's
a good
very
way.
observant. She knows she's not going to get into Louis's good graces the way that her mother is
No,
trying
she
to
can't just
force.
fake bite her lip and hope that
Right.
he'll drop his pants.
And she has known that that's not the case.
Exactly.
So good for her figuring out a new way.
Yep. So then she asks him about the birds, but he doesn't speak to her. But he gets out a bird for her, lets her hold it.
So there's a moment where she finally corners him and he peeks out at her and she's peeking at him and he smiles at her and I like just went, oh, it's happening.
He's starting to really
like,
see.
I'm like, I knew he liked her and it feels so like I love this for them. But yeah, he gets out the bird and he
Yeah,
shares
and that's
the
another,
birds
like,
with
he's
her.
sharing his interest with her.
Yeah, and she's
like,
not repulsed by it, or she doesn't make fun of him, which is like
No.
what everyone else does in this freaking palace.
Yeah, she's gentle.
Yeah.
She's a very gentle young kid that's just looking for some friendship and love.
Optimistic.
So optimistic.
She just wants the best for him and for her and
Exactly.
for France now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he teaches her like looking through the telescope and how to do
Yeah.
it correctly, and then says he'll be a good king, and she hopes that he will let her help him.
Yeah. It was a really sweet moment. Like I really, really loved this for them so
I loved
much.
it. It was finally like a turning point, showing
Yeah.
that like he does care about her.
Yeah,
And
there were hints at this, and he was watching her from afar. He was getting jealous. He was just embarrassed, and finally, they're alone. They're
Yep.
finally alone too. That's the
Exactly.
other thing. Nobody's watching this happen.
Yep.
They're finally alone. He smiles. She smiles. Oh, the kids are gonna be all right, except they're not gonna be all right. But for now, the kids are all right.
Yeah, and I thought that was the end of the episode.
Yeah.
I thought it was done because
It
I was like, "This
felt
is
like a
great."
really nice
it felt
way
like a
to
really nice way to
end.
end it.
Yeah.
But we're walking up the steps with Marie, the sister. She's got like this whole horde of women behind her, and looks at Madame du Barry chatting with Provence, and they have to bow to Marie because she's the Dauphine,
Right.
and so they bow to her, and she's like.
She
Snubs her, looks to the other side, and
Like a snub.
everybody is talking about it.
Yep.
All the little whispers, rumor, rumor.
She
all of it.
stabbed Dubarry in the heart.
Oh, she did it.
Yeah.
She done did it.
You can actually see, like, Dubarry is just terrified that she's going to lose her position.
Oh,
Like,
well, yeah.
Under all of
The
it, it's
future
just, she
queen
is
doesn't
so-
like her?
Right. She is just terrified.
The sisters, oh well.
Yeah.
But
the future queen.
the future queen of France not liking her, she has
well, I mean, she's also
something coming.
She's also worried about Zaddy King
Zaddy King
wanting to, have sex with Marie as well, because he does have a penchant for
Yes.
young women.
Yes, the young women.
Yeah,
he does.
So there's that also at play.
Yeah, because she
but-
flirts with him in the episode. I mean, Marie doesn't realize she's
innocently,
flirting.
Yes,
but
she's
he's
just being
flirting.
charming, and
Yes.
he's being flirtatious. Yeah.
But Madame du Barry is teaching her how to be charming to men
Yes,
in
exactly.
Madame du Barry style.
It works. So her lessons work, just not on Louis.
Yeah, not on Louis because Louis is not the king. He's not Zaddy King.
No, he's not Zaddy King. He's the opposite of Zaddy King.
Yeah, exactly. Then like Madame du Barry goes into, say his name, Choiseul?
Schwazel.
That's number 5. Okay. I'll get there, hopefully. And she like holds a knife to his throat.
And
I'm
well,
like,
he's talking to the person who's actually prepping him, saying how happy he is that she got snubbed too.
Oh, yeah.
That's when she walks in.
Yep. And then she walks in, holds a knife to his throat.
A little crazy, but yeah.
And then she cut herself on her arm, and I was like, here we go. He's gone.
Yep.
Because she's going to say he did it.
I'm so bad at drama that I'm like, why'd she do that?
Oh.
And then like 30 seconds later, I'm like, oh man.
Oh
that's
yeah,
rotten.
no, like right away she cuts herself. I'm like, she's smart.
To the
she's
king.
she's smart and manipulative.
Evil genius.
Oh yeah, totally.
That's how she got to the point that she is.
Yep, exactly. So Madame du Barry with the king tells the king that like he cut me and now he's exiled, not allowed back. And then the new guy, which we don't really know his name, becomes the new prime minister.
Yeah.
So,
the new guy that sprayed her chest with the perfume, right?
Yes.
Doused her.
Yes, and is in her favor when he walked in and was like flirting right when Provence was in there.
Yeah, he's working that angle.
Oh yeah, he definitely is.
Yeah.
So then we have the king Zaddy King goes and tells Louis like, don't make her be mine. It's not happening. Like, don't make me have to deal with this. Like, you need to have her. You need to do your thing. Like,
you need to
do
you need to do the thing.
To do the thing. you need to have sex with your wife, so I don't have to. Essentially, is what he said in that scene. And I'm like, oh, you're like 5 times her age, but I don't know.
Zaddy King.
Zaddy King. Got it. But anyway, so then Mercy knocks on Marie's door, and
she sees the ambassador, the one that's exiled. Is he the ambassador?
Leaving.
No, the prime minister, I guess.
The old prime minister.
And he's kind of her ally, so she looks kind of despondent about that. But then, then the ambassador walks in.
Yes, and he says, like, you're staying.
Right.
Well, he doesn't say it.
He
just nods to her,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
he goes, I think he just goes, yeah. Like,
and then
nods,
she's super excited because she's saying, Marie goes through Madame du Barry's drawers and is like, I'm going to find it because I am staying. Oh, look what I found, Madame du Barry. They're like going at it. And I was like, this is great.
They're having a fight.
Oh, yeah, totally. And she's like twice her age, but like they're going at it. And then Marie, like, she wins. She wins the argument. I found what I want.
She says, I'm staying.
Yep. And guess what? I'm staying because my husband wants me to stay. Nice try.
Louis said yes.
Good luck getting rid of me now. So then
it's finally going to happen.
I know. And then Madame du Barry, I don't know if you noticed this scene. She's sitting in the king's seat.
Okay.
As if she's running the country.
Right. I did notice that she was sitting in his chair.
And I was like, she's a little too comfortable.
She's trying to run the country.
She is. And now she's like, well, we need Provence to a wife. So that they can secure an heir. Because clearly Louis and Marie aren't going to do it. So we at least need to have an heir.
Yep.
Which is smart politics.
Yeah, I mean,
just in case.
It's diabolical.
But, all that stuff.
I mean, if Provence would have had a child, I think, before Louis, I think they would have been the heir. I'm not sure about that.
No. It doesn't matter about the age of the second kid. I'm pretty sure that Louis the 16th is married to Marie. If they have a kid.
The royal line is so confusing. Like, I think Louis the 15th, Zaddy King, came into power after his great-grandfather.
Yeah, I saw online said when he was 3.
It was all very confusing.
Say great-grandfather.
So it skips around a lot. It skips a lot of generations, I guess, because people were dying all the time.
I think so too. So, yeah. But I don't think it would go to Provence.
Okay.
I think it would stay with Louis.
I don't understand the family trees.
If Louis and Marie have a kid,
it would just go
kid
back
is
to
the heir. Okay. But if Louis and Marie did not have a kid,
then Provence's
child would be the next heir.
Would be the king.
Yes.
Got it. I think so.
As long as it's a son.
That makes sense to me. It has to be a son. Like
has to be.
France was specifically like it had to be a son.
Yep.
Male heir. Yeah.
I mean,
that's stupid.
Women can rule the world. We're amazing. We clearly get so much more done. I'm just saying.
Knock things out.
Yeah. And to finish off this episode,
yeah,
Louis shows up to Marie's door,
so
and we both screamed. We both screamed. We're like,
is back.
I know, Mops. We were so happy. And I like Marie is so happy. It's Mops.
I felt so relieved because I honestly thought they threw that dog into the river to drown. Like, that is just where my mind went. So I'm so glad her dog's. I was like, wait, is it actually her dog? And you and Allie are both just like, yeah, it's her dog.
Yep. Mops went home for 4 months and then he came back and Louis doesn't even say anything.
No,
he just hands him over and runs away. And then Marie's just so happy. She's
so
staying.
Yes,
her husband seems to really like her. He delivered
the dog to her.
Mops. I know.
Gift, so she gets to keep the dog. Madame Etiquette.
Yes. My husband delivered him to me. Yes, is what Marie says.
So she gets to keep
I know.
her dog. I'm
but
so
like
happy.
you see the difference from like the
relieved.
I know. But the very first episode, she is this terrified child, has no idea what she's doing. Madame du Barry teaches her seduction and teaches her how to be more of a sexy woman as she's growing.
Right.
She gets her period for the first time. Now she is full-blown woman. She can have kids. And she finds out about all this crap that happened that she didn't know about. All this stuff is going on. And she could have just been like, she could have given up.
She could have just been like, tell me what to do.
Yeah, I'm done. Tell me what to do. I'm done. Like, but she didn't.
Right.
She went one more time, gained Louis' favor, and now she's a queen.
Yeah.
She's stepping into her role. She really grew in this episode.
She still has to have sex with him for everything to be finalized.
That's true.
But he likes her.
Yes, which is a positive.
Very good first step.
Yep. Because
he's actually interacting with her, I should say. He's always liked her, I think.
I think he's always kind of liked her. I mean, she's
like
gorgeous.
From a distance. And now he's like, here's your dog. Bye.
I know.
I mean, if that doesn't say I love you, I don't know what does.
I don't know what does either. I mean, anything about a dog.
Definitely him being like, love you, bye.
I know. It was so sweet, and I was so happy for both of them, and it felt so good.
It felt really good.
Yeah.
I feel good for them at this point in their lives. I think they're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Until they're not okay. But right now they're going to be okay.
Until they're not okay.
Until they're not okay.
At least we know right now that they're okay.
All right. They're friends.
It seems cute.
And that's good.
Yeah. So everyone, thank you for listening or watching another episode of Postscript from WITF.
Yeah, I had a lot of secondhand embarrassment for Louis during that sex ed talk, and also for Limbal, and also for Marie. I had a lot of secondhand embarrassment this episode.
Poor kids.
And I think I'm probably going to have nightmares about it for days.
Probably. But don't forget, everyone, you can get in on the conversation if you email us your thoughts at ps@witf.org. Engage with us on Instagram at WITF.org and on Facebook at WITF.org. This podcast was produced by Ali Amorós for WITF, and I'm Beth Cappello.
And I'm Christina Zeiders. We'll catch you next week when we cover part 3, Pick a Princess.
Ooh, I like that title.